And time now for a check of the weather conditions for this holiday forecast. Let's go ahead and bring in Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Brad, it feels like a heat wave right now.
Yeah, by Easter standards, certainly going to be a toasty one out there. It's pretty late Easter this year. Remember, Easter can fluctuate anywhere from as early as March 22nd all the way to April 25th. So this is a pretty late one. So you expect it to be at least warmer, but maybe not this hot. It's probably going to be one of the hottest we've seen since at least 2006. It's going to stay warm into next week with temperatures in the 80s, but we are going to see some much needed rain to help with those wildfires in the western part of the state. Several still burning, even in McDowell County, but also over in Swain and Graham counties. You can see tomorrow temperatures scorching all the way up into the mid and upper 80s. If it wasn't for the cloud cover, I think we'd easily touch 90, but because we're starting so warm in the morning, it won't take much to get up into the mid and upper 80s. Now, there are some storms back to the southwest of us in parts of Texas. A lot of severe weather ongoing. You can see that upper low moving out of New Mexico, even some snow back there. So this is a pretty powerful system. The problem is it's really not tracking that far to the east. It's kind of fizzling out. So eventually we're going to see a cold front by Tuesday into Wednesday, but there's not much to it. So it's not going to help produce much rainfall. We'll take whatever we can get out of this system, but it won't arrive until Tuesday and Wednesday. So look for some pretty dry weather between now and then. We'll take the rain to help with the fires in the western part of the state, but this is likely not going to do much to put them out, but it might help firefighters gain an upper hand and get those containment lines going. Our only really rain chances, you could see them kind of ramping up Tuesday into Wednesday. I think Thursday is going to be our best chance, so it'll be a while until we get there. We've got several dry days ahead of it. Now, the dry conditions don't only make the fire danger worse, they also make the pollen pretty bad. Today we saw the pollen jump back up. Pine pollen jumped up to our #1 again, mainly because of that southwest wind blowing so much pine pollen in from Georgia and South Carolina. We're going to stay with very high levels of pollen until we get some rainfall. But the good news here is we are kind of past the peak of the tree pollen season. It's still really high, but we're on the downhill side of this now. And as we get into the next 2 to 3 weeks, we should see it really tail off. So if you're waiting to power wash or clean off the back porch or patio, I'd go ahead and do it now. But if you want to wait completely till it's done, you got about 2 to 3 more weeks to wait. Long-term rain chances aren't great, so there's definitely going to be a lot of pollen around. The rain would help reduce the numbers, at least by days, here and there, but without much in the way of rainfall and with warm temperatures, expect the pine pollen to stay high with all the other tree pollen as well, at least through the end of the month before we see it kind of taper off. Very warm conditions will be heading our way, though, as we go through the next 7 days. Even with a little bit of a cool down, it's only back to normal, which is about 75. You see the rain chances for the middle of the week. Let's go 10 days into the future, and we do see some slightly cooler conditions by this time next weekend, and maybe better chances of rain.
We definitely need that rain to wash away the pollen.
Yes.
Thanks so much for that.